5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hello, everybody. This is the Ramble. See that name? That's Alex, and I'm Alex Bennett. We're here until midnight Eastern Daylight Time as the coronavirus continues to ravage America. Okay? I'll tell you, I am not. We've been over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I guess. We've been monetizing this show. That means that I allow YouTube to put commercials on before my program. And it's become a real battle, okay? Because every now and then they say, and it's almost every night, the show could not be monetized because it has material which may be upsetting to certain advertisers. Okay. What does that mean exactly? So then I say, okay, well, I want a review. And then I request a review, and 9 times out of 10, after they review it, they go, oh, it's okay. Well, you see, what happened is they had a machine that was listening, and when it heard certain key words or certain key things out of context, it made a decision, and so I had to ask for a human being to review it. And I would say 9 times out of 10, once it's reviewed, the show goes through. But I'm sick and tired of doing that. Okay, it just it just completely pisses the hell out of me off, kind of thing. In fact, I don't. So I decided as of tonight not to do that. Okay, not to do the whole thing, okay? To put the advertisements on there. Hold on a second. I got to turn this off. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Hold on a second. I've got a mute site. Okay. Now I can go with it so I can see the picture here. Okay. So you're not going to get a commercial before the beginning of it tonight. There are a couple of reasons why. Number one, I'm sick and tired of this whole monetizing thing, and quite frankly, it's not worth my time or my effort or the grief that it gives me personally, because so far, let's see, how much have I made in a month? I think a little over $10. And sometimes it goes up to $10.90, and then all of a sudden, for no reason at all, it goes down to $10.50. And then it goes up to $10.85, and then down to $10.60. And I don't know what they're doing over there, and I don't care. But it ain't worth $10 a month to me to run commercials before this program. So you will not see an advertisement before this program. Oh, wait a minute. One is running, and I told it not to. Son of a bitch. I actually told it I didn't want it to, I didn't want it to be monetized. And it's monetizing. Son of a bitch. I didn't want it to. Okay, let me see here. Okay, well, I can go over here. Let me just see here. What's happening? Why didn't that why I turned off monetization? It says on. Well, I turned it off, so I'm going to turn it off now so you don't have to see commercials, and I don't have to deal with those asshole motherfuckers, cocksuckers. See, I can say that now because I can get monetized, all right? Because I don't care about getting monetized. And there's another reason why I did. I got an email today from, not an email, but a Facebook message from Tom Yamaguchi, who's a fan of this program and listens on a rather frequent basis and calls infrequently. And Tom, who's an old friend, wrote to me, and I'll read you what he said. Hold on a second, let me find it. It says here, okay, Tom Yamaguchi, all right, there we go. Here we go. It says, okay, question, do you have any control over the advertisements? In fact, I think I can show you this while I'm talking it. Okay, I can actually show you what he wrote. Anyway, here we go. Question. See, you can see question right here, right there. Okay. Question, do you have any control over the advertisements we see on your YouTube channel? I turned on the Ramble last night after finishing a Zoom meeting about 8:30 my time, and the stream started with an ad for the Epoch Times. They are a pro-Trump propaganda outlet that is putting a conspiracy they call Spygate. Snopes has been investigating the media empire that runs Epoch Times, and more information can be found below. And I read it, and I also looked up Epoch Times. They are a Chinese organization, and they apparently what they're doing is they're making a big deal out of going against Trump, and they're spreading all kinds of lies and things like that. You see, that's what I'm saying about monetization. They are worried about the programs their advertisers are on, that the program might have material that doesn't make them happy, but they don't vet the actual advertisers, and that's why we had our last election hacked like crazy. It's just because of this kind of behavior. So to hell with you, you big jerks over there at YouTube. And I'm not going to put up with this having to monetize anymore. I don't care. I don't need the $10. I'll cash in the $10 and go out and, oh, wait a minute, I can't go out. I haven't left the house in 8 days? No, 9 days. This is the 9th day I haven't been out. Furthest I went was down into the lobby to go check my mail. That was it. So anyway, Marjorie's been going to the store like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and there's nobody there. There's like one other person or two other people there, and she can keep her distance, and she wears her mask. And when she comes back, she throws all her clothes in the washer, and she then goes in and takes a shower. Okay, so we're trying to keep ourselves from getting all flued up. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. So to hell with YouTube. I don't need the monetization, and I don't like the fact that they're running ads of this nature before my program. Okay, now I haven't seen that one running before my program, but I have seen other stuff that it runs. But tonight I specifically asked it not to monetize, and it automatically started monetizing, so I had to turn that off. So now if you go there and you start up again, you won't get the stupid damn commercial that's in there. So anyway, we have this whole flu running around, and what's interesting is I was telling you the other night, and I mentioned this last night, but for those of you who didn't hear it or didn't get across to you, what I did was I said to myself, gee, I went and got my the seeds implanted for the prostate to do away with the cancer, to help get rid of the cancer. And I said to myself, boy, I really dodged a bullet on that one, because had I waited a couple of weeks to do it, they probably wouldn't be able to do it. So yesterday I get a call from my doctor's office, because a month in I have to have a CT scan to make sure all the seeds are in the right place. It's not a diagnostic thing, and it has nothing to do with whether I'm well or not well or whatever. But it does have to do with just looking and making sure the seeds are working all right, and that it's not affecting other organs. And but basically it's just for their edification. All right. So I was supposed to do that in about a week. And she called me up and said, well, I wrote her and asked her what's going to happen with that. And she wrote me, and excuse me, my nose is itchy. It's just itchy. I'm not picking it. It's just itchy. I have an itchy nose. Always had an itchy nose. Anyway, where were we? Okay, so she says to me, well, they'll call you in about a week from the hospital and make an appointment for you to do this. Now, if you don't feel like doing it, because of the current coronavirus scare, and you don't want to come to the hospital to do it. And, who knows what, by that time, maybe the hospital will be so inundated with things and people and so on that you won't be able to do it. She said, but she kind of indicated the CT scan section isn't going to be affected by the influx of people into the hospital. Boy, my nose is itching. God, what is that? I hate that. Anyway, you know what it is? Because when you get older, you don't grow any more hair on the top of your head, but it starts coming out of your nose, and then you got one that's just kind of sticking out there, and it kind of goes like this, and then your nose itches like crazy. Anyway, so she says to me, so if you don't want to do it, then you can wait a month or so and wait till this whole thing kind of subsides a bit. And I went, good, that's fine. I said, is there anything dangerous with me not doing it within a month? And she says, no, it's just purely diagnostic, nothing for you to worry about. And then I said to her, I really feel I dodged a bullet, because had we had not done this when we did it and we had to do it today, that I wouldn't be able to get the operation to get the seeds implanted. Now, these are radioactive seeds, by the way. They are. I don't have a glowing personality now. Anyway, and she said, no, we'd be able to do the procedure. She says, we have the use of operating rooms and so on, and we can still do the procedure if we have to. The problem is that because of the whole coronavirus and everything being shut down like crazy, we don't have the radioactive seeds to put in you. And I said, so I did dodge a bullet. She said, you surely did. Okay, so anyway. So I'm on my way to good health, and I just hope the coronavirus doesn't come along and ruin all of that. Okay? I'm also thinking that maybe I had it. Because I remember about, maybe was it 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago? And you may even remember it, because I always gripe about being sick and so on. For about 2 weeks, I had a cough going. I was just coughing and just the chest was kind of hurting and kind of tight and so on, a little trouble breathing. And I went to the doctor, and he said, I would bet any amount of money you got it's allergies. Let me just test your heart, because he does a little thing where it's an echocardiogram where he tests my heart to see if it's okay. He says, your heart's fine. He says, it's probably allergies. And he said, just take some antihistamines or whatever. And I tried, and that didn't seem to help. And it kept going on for about another week after that, and it didn't seem to be resolving itself. And then all of a sudden, one day it got better. And finally, after a couple of days, it went away. But it lasted for a couple of weeks, and I don't usually get these things for a couple of weeks. And I'm wondering if maybe what I had was the coronavirus before anybody really knew that it was having a big time. And Marjorie, by the way, was having somewhat of a similar problem during that period of time. So who knows? We may have had the coronavirus, and it may have resolved itself. I really don't know. Oh boy, now my nose is dripping. My nose has been dripping all day. It's allergy season. The pollen is so bad that you walk down the street and you can actually see the pollen falling on the ground. So what are we going to do about this whole coronavirus? I got to tell you, every day at 11 o'clock in the morning, I turn over to MSNBC, or I can turn to CNN, or I can turn to Fox. I haven't noticed whether they're running it or not. But every day, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of the state of New York, has been giving these updates and telling you how it is today and how the numbers have gone up, or how they've stayed the same, or how many masks we have available, or hey, I went and found some masks somewhere. And it is so refreshing. You watch it and you come away and you go, well, he isn't giving me a rosy story. He's not telling me everything's going to be, candy and wax lips. He's telling me what I believe to be the truth about where we are in all of this. And then he kind of, in his lecture towards the end, always says something very positive about the way we should act in all of this, and how we're New Yorkers and we can weather anything. And he really gives a pep talk. And it's a very refreshing pep talk because he has a very human quality about him. And all of us, even myself, who is, I think, in my time, I've been a critic of his, not particularly a big fan of him as governor. And I don't know why. I think maybe he said something once that I didn't like or something like that. But boy, he has sure won me over in this one. And he started to win over a lot of other people, too. Let me show you what I mean. This is a Twitter page. What does it say there, folks? Draft Cuomo. Ta-da! And everybody's getting the feeling, hey, we really should probably draft this guy because he's terrific and he's doing all the right stuff, and he's acting presidential. He's acting the way you expect a leader to act in order to make you feel better about stuff. And just terrific what he's doing. And I just am, I think he's doing a wonderful job, and I think most people feel the same way. And so now everybody started this draft Cuomo thing. Now, I believe it or not, I don't think Cuomo would want to be drafted at this point, because I think Cuomo would tell you, listen, I've got a job right now to get this state well and get rid of this plague that we've got hitting the state of New York, and I've got to deal with this, and I'm not about ready to run for president. That's not my intention right now. And I would say in 4 years he would be a very good possibility to be a candidate if there isn't a Democratic president. Today our president, then our president goes on, does his 6 o'clock at night briefing, and it is so bad and it is so embarrassing. The guy can't even read a script in front of him. And then if he wants to ad lib, he even ad libs worse than he reads. He is terrible. And there's no confidence that's engendered in his actions or what he's saying. And it looks like everybody around him looks upon him like he's a cockroach who's just spouting off, and then they got to go in and try and save the day by giving you some reality. I never thought I would be relieved by seeing Mike Pence say something, So that's what's been happening with Mario. I keep calling him Mario because his father was Mario, and I'm so used to that. But that, draft Cuomo, not a bad idea. I don't think he would do it. And quite frankly, he's got a much more important job right now than President of the United States, and that's Governor of New York and saving lives and working on our behalf. And he's doing a great job. And I take my hat off to him. Oh, wait a minute, too much glare. Okay. Anyway, let's go to the Pajones. Let me see here. We say the phones. These aren't really phones. This is Skype we use. And let me bring up Skype. It takes a little while, though. For some reason, I've got a very fast machine here, but Skype takes forever. Oh, it came up really fast tonight. Well, what do you know? There must be something wrong with it or something. Anyway, I am now active. Okay, so you can call if you want to. And let me turn this down so that when the first person rings, it isn't going to be noisy. Okay, let me see here, and I'll get this ready to go. So anyway, you can start calling, folks. We are ready. Oh, there we go. Here comes Phil. Phil's always usually always the first to call. Sometimes he's not, but Last night he was in the top spot, and there he is again, ladies and gentlemen, right there in the top spot. Hello, Phil. How are you this evening?
All right, I'm kind of fearful of what's going on. I went outside and I saw these figures kind of being led by animals that were on leashes, and they were dragging these zombie-like characters around, but they were by themselves. Uh, Nobody was close to one another. It
Wait a minute.
was.
Oh, Vernon, hold on a second. I'm trying to get all these people going here, Phil. So just keep talking. Yeah, you were going to go for some kind of joke. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
we're probably not going to laugh at. So why even waste your time doing it?
It's going on in parks all over the country. These small animals leading zombie-like critters around.
Yeah. Let me see.
Uh,
Here. Oh, there we go.
They come out of their dark holes, and they're led by animals.
Is there a joke there somewhere? I don't know what you're getting at, Phil.
It's kind of a story
It's kind of a story about what in particular?
about the zombie people that forage out of their houses every once in a while, and they're being led by dogs. Small dogs.
By small dogs. I see. I have no idea what you're talking
They're
about.
going crazy. They're going stir crazy. And that's the only time.
I'll
they
tell you.
get
I'll
out.
tell you. When you have to explain a joke, it isn't worth
Well,
telling.
that's because you're a Democrat and you don't get jokes. I mean, you have no sense of humor. For a guy who made his living in the humor business, you're really short.
Now, what am I supposed to have a sense of humor about right now, Phil? What am I supposed to have a sense of humor about?
The zombies being led by dogs.
Huh?
It's like Walking Dead. The zombies, they're being led by little animals on leashes.
Anybody here want to laugh at all?
Instead of us, instead of us walking the dogs are walking us. Because we're supposed to stay inside, so it's an excuse to get outside.
The only joke I ever heard like that was that if Martians came from another planet, came down here and saw us taking our dogs for a walk and picking up their poop, they'd think they were our masters. So,
They
okay.
are.
Now, you see, I got a laugh out of that one.
Well, that's because you pay these guys.
Yeah, right.
Where's my check?
Right. Hello, Vernon. Gee, we haven't seen you in a while. Vernon Dunn, ladies and gentlemen, my prostate cancer pal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been out walking with my dog today.
Yeah. You live where again? You're in
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. How is it down there? Is everybody staying indoors?
For the most part. I mean, there's still traffic out on the main roads, but not as heavy as it has been.
Yeah. Okay. Because I look outdoors and man, I got to tell you, it's empty out there. It's just
Our governor is saying as of 8 o'clock tomorrow night, all non-essential businesses must close.
Must close. You've got, for some reason, you're breaking up a little bit, and I don't know why. Because you gotta be. What is that you got around your neck? What is that? Is that your?
That's my headphones.
That's your headphone. I see.
They're probably Bluetooth.
They're probably Bluetooth. Yeah. There's a little.
They are.
Breaks up a little crackling, but not bad, not terrible.
I've got a video of you. I don't know if I show this to you guys or not. But this is funny. This will get a laugh.
Wait a minute.
What's he doing?
Quarantined, but you have a choice. Do you A, quarantine your wife and child, or B?
I can't. We can't hear it. Can't hear it.
No, we don't get it.
Yeah. No.
And you complained about my little skit.
Huh?
Coronavirus, you are going to be quarantined, but you have a choice. Do you A, quarantine with your wife and child, or B?
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing is your audio is breaking up a little bit, Vernon. I don't know why.
Picture's nice and sharp.
The picture's nice and sharp. Yeah, I shouldn't have any problem that way. My nose is itching tonight. Jeez.
Let me go grab some wired headphones.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah, yeah.
Back in a minute.
Okay, that probably will be a better idea. Wired is always better than unwired all the time, and even in TV. You know, we have the wireless mics and all of that.
Yeah.
Half the time you get interference and whatever. And they always brought wired mics with them, and preference always was to use a wired mic if you could, you know, because they have a tendency to. They don't have a tendency to break up and do all kinds of things like that. Yeah.
Other electronic things.
Yeah. It's not getting any better here in New York. It is. I mean, it's like a ghost town out there. Even today, during the day, I had a camera, was running it on Facebook called live from Armageddon, and I showed the street, and you could see there were some cars going up and down. But man, when it came to anything else besides the cars, it was a whole different deal. I mean, there's nobody there. I mean, even the cars, there weren't that many. But it's like a ghost town. This is the city that never sleeps. Well, guess again. You know.
What's your weather like there? Here, it's really cold.
Oh, well, the weather's been cold, but yesterday it was very nice and sunny. It was beautiful yesterday.
Yeah.
93 degrees in Austin.
Yeah. How you doing, Bree, in Malaysia? You're in the Kuala Lumpur, and you've got yourself quite a deal going there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Vernon gets to share a video, but I don't. All from the other
Well,
day.
you saw how well it worked.
Huh? Yeah, saw how well it worked. Mine was of a woman sneezing, and then she gets shot, and everybody sprays Lysol around, and they go about their business.
It was very fun. It was
Yeah,
it was
it
very
was shorter, and you didn't need audio because it was visual. The thing that's also getting me here is we have a WhatsApp community group. I think I've mentioned this before.
WhatsApp,
And
yeah.
Yeah, and the dog owner guy across the street, I thought it was his wife because his wife's name's on there, but then it turns out it's him because he does voice. There are all these people who want to be amateur newscasters or, opinion leaders or gatekeepers or editors. They're just posting all kinds of stuff. Half of it is just fake. I got one the other day. It was so funny. I read it. It says, from CNN, the doctor who was originally found about the coronavirus was working with chemicals X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and he found out that this and that and this and that. And then it said, in India, we call this tea. If you drink tea 3 times a day, you'll keep the COVID virus away. They presented this as a factual, and it was super long. And I only read it because it was so absurd and so patently fake. And so somebody put, that might be fake. I've given up. I don't even write on there anymore. And then he wrote back, well, if you have breakfast for tea, then it doesn't matter if it's fake or not anyway.
Wow.
And
Is that a commercial or
I think what it was it was probably circulated originally by someone of Indian ancestry or descent as a way to feel good. Like, the Chinese were doing all this stuff, but really it's just tea. And in India, we've always known it as a special tea. That's why we're not getting as sick. Well, that's not true, So anyway, I get these. I guarantee you right now, I've got 5 on my phone that are completely. And then you'll get a message on SMS. From the government. Don't spread fake news during this time. It's really not a good idea.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And I'll get then immediately after that, I'll get 5 fake news immediately on my WhatsApp group. And it's like,
I know what kind of tea that was. It's SHI tea.
Well, the thing is,
okay.
one of the reasons. I mean, yes, Vernon, go ahead.
I just wanted to see if this sounded any
Oh,
better.
much better, much better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, what I wanted to ask was, how's it going in Kuala Lumpur? What are your numbers? Because I was trying to find it here and I couldn't find
I heard they were low.
Malaysia.
Yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of different stories, and I'm as perplexed. I read one the other day that said that Malaysia had done a good job, that we're testing above per capita, we're testing above what the U.S. is testing, and Europe and several other countries. So,
well, here are your numbers. 1,796 confirmed, active 1,577, recovered 199, dead 20. So while that's better, you're also kind of smaller, than say the United States.
They do have free testing for foreigners now. I can get free testing if I go to a government hospital, or I can pay $150 and get it through a drive-through. But I'm not concerned. Like you said, Alex, I think it's highly likely that I had this in January and passed through it. And so I'm not concerned. I don't care whether a test tells me if I have it or not. I'm okay. I'm isolating till April 14th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not what we want.
They've extended it here. And I'm teaching online, and I'm conducting all my meetings online. I'm fine.
That's good.
There we go. Okay. Now, let's see here. What do we got? Come on, Patrick. There we go. Got Patrick up there. Okay. Okay. When I have to do this stuff on the run, it kind of gets me. Malaysia. Now, where was it? Where did I see? There is one of the smallest countries in the world is Liechtenstein. Yeah. I have been to Liechtenstein, and the best way to describe it is, if you're driving and you blink, you're no longer in Liechtenstein. Okay, it's about a mile, maybe a mile and a half, and you're in and out of Liechtenstein. They've got 51 cases. Okay.
What's with this royal stuff? You got Prince Albert in Monaco, he's positive. You got Prince Charles. He's positive. Well, at least he's not a negative kind of guy, but he's positive. And you would think that these guys would have been protected enough, and that they got people wiping down stuff, that they would be okay.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson had it, so One of the funny things, I don't know if you've seen this, but I always get a kick. Tom Hanks and Jessica Alba and some of the other celebrities, they always say, "Oh, we're going to get through this, and we just we'll struggle a little bit and give up some comforts." And I was thinking that, in their $12 million homes they'll have to give up the private chef for a week.
When you have the flu, you're not comfortable. It doesn't matter how big the house is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have your own swimming pool, right?
Right. You can't go in it.
Well, we also had our first kind of famous death from the coronavirus, and that was Terrence McNally, the playwright. He was 81, and apparently he got it, and bye-bye. That's all she wrote. What?
I saw Jackson Brown got it, and they said Jackson Brown, 71, has that, and you don't see the rest of it. But whenever they put in age, I usually, like Kenny Rogers, 81. So I'm like, oh no, we lost Jackson Brown. Oh no, he just has coronavirus.
Oh, by the way, another one you can drive through in about a minute and a half. Andorra.
Yeah.
188 cases, one death, 186 active, and one recovered. So
Andorra is like the fourth smallest country in the world.
Is it the fourth or is it the second smallest? I think Liechtenstein, is the smallest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And the capital
about Vatican City
is Andorra.
Singapore is pretty small.
I never heard of Andorra.
It's in the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France.
Yeah.
And, allowed to exist because their principal thing was smuggling. And so both France and Spain used to use them to avoid taxes.
Yeah. But for people who are watching us right now, here's what the map looks like. There we go. Actually, I should go to the world view of
Red?
it, but huh?
Is it all red? That might be Trump voters. Are you sure you got the right
yeah,
map?
yes, they're all Trump voters, and they're all going to get it. But look at the United States over there. Almost every state is red. Okay, all of Europe is reddened out.
They like Trump too.
Africa, not so much so.
No.
South
They're buying
America,
them.
not so much so. Canada, that's the place to go. You know.
Everybody in Canada lives near the U.S. border. Very few go up to Manitoba and all of those
Yeah.
up north. I mean, it's a refrigerator.
And
Not this
Look at Alaska.
in Fairbanks, Alaska, there are only 10 confirmed, no deaths. And in Anchorage, Alaska, no deaths and 17 confirmed. So it really kind of, it's out of the way, and it managed to, keep people away. I think the reason why they say it's so high in New York, and there's a very good reason for why it's so high in New York, is that we had so many people that travel here, and come into this city from all around the world, and so that before this thing started to get contained, we were ground zero for people infecting the city.
I think New Yorkers just keep their hands dirty, and because of that, you're spreading the virus, amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Now,
you don't have it in Russia because they kill anybody that gets infected.
no, well, they also they're not giving out what their true numbers at all.
I don't believe
suited
Russia.
up today.
What?
You see Putin suited up today?
He suited up today. He was wearing a
He got
hazmat
dressed
suit.
up in a suit. Yeah,
You bet he was wearing a hazmat suit, was he, or something like
yeah,
that?
that's what they say. I couldn't see him in there, but he probably wasn't him.
Yeah.
But he had his chest unbuttoned.
Yeah, like let me see here.
Yeah, his
Greenland.
boobies were showing.
Let me see if I can get Greenland to come up here.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't have too
Greenland
many.
has only all of Greenland, which is a huge landmass. Isn't it? Is it a continent or is it considered an island?
I think
It's an island.
Trump wanted to buy it last year.
It's an
Well,
iceberg.
Trump bought it. It would have reduced our square footage of cases.
Yes. Well, not really, because they only have 6 confirmed cases in all of Greenland.
Yes, but if you
Active
look at
4,
the land-
recovered 2, and deaths 0.
Yeah, but if you look at the land mass,
Yeah.
we could have had all that extra square miles and fewer cases per mile.
Oh,
But
I
there's
see.
only like 50,000 people on Greenland.
Well, that's why they should have sold.
Yeah. Let me see here. What else do
Well,
we have?
New Orleans is supposedly getting a big breakout too because of the Mardi Gras.
Yep.
Yep.
And that idiot governor they've got down in Florida. Jeez
Oh,
almighty.
jeez.
I mean,
He won't do shit.
Did you see Jeff was so politically correct that when he coughed into his elbow? I am very, very impressed that.
I know. Trying to learn all these new
Yeah, you
new
can't
methods.
do this. This doesn't count anymore. Now it's.
no, but what I used
I
to
just
do,
like
what I used to do when I put my
15
face in my
items
arm
here.
was this.
Slowly.
Vern is hoarding toilet paper. I saw it. See? He's always hoarding.
Just follow.
He's flaunting.
Oh, did you? No, I can't believe you got that. Hold that up in the center of the screen. Make sure we can see the whole thing, because you have it over to the side. Move it over a little bit. Other way.
Other way.
Other way. There we go. 15 days to slow the spread. What day is this?
10.
10. How are we doing?
Did Marjorie
Wait till
ever
Easter.
take the subway to work or not?
No, she's not going to work. She's working out of our
About
apartment.
Before that.
Huh?
Before, how is she getting to work?
She would take to get to work. She would take a car service,
Okay.
and then coming home, she would take the bus. You know, you don't want to do either of those things. I don't want to go down into the subway, and I know they're down there. They're steaming them every 5 seconds. You know, but I don't want to go down there. That's like a giant petri dish down there.
That's what I think.
You know,
A friend of mine came back from Fort Lauderdale yesterday, and he posted a picture of the airport. It was absolutely empty. And he said when he got on the plane, he was going back up to Scarsdale. And he went into Westchester Airport, and there were maybe 30 people on the plane, and they were totally spread out. No one was near one another.
Yeah, but you probably, in a way, you're probably safer on an airplane than you are almost on any other form of transportation because the air is recycled and it's filtered and it goes through HEPA filters.
Yeah.
So, you don't want to be sitting next to somebody who's sneezing, Yeah. It'd be best if you had a row all to yourself.
On that plane they did.
But, I was talking about YouTube and the fact I'm not going to monetize this show anymore. I'm sick of playing that game, and the ads they're running now turns out are like some right-wing ads that really are the kind of thing that YouTube should be watching out for, and they're selling them time.
Well, if you'd stop cursing, maybe you'd get the good ads, like Dr. Scholl's foot pads and things like that. The ones that pay a little bit of money.
Well, anyway, I got that. So I just decided to hell with it. I don't need to monetize this at all, and screw them. They can go fuck themselves.
Most of these
and I
people
can
that are
say they can go fuck themselves now and not have to worry about not being monetized.
Can't skip the ads. And what they're doing in an initial ad is that they're a video, and you have to wait for the video to play until you can see the thing that you want to see.
For some reason, I told it not to monetize tonight, okay? The live show. And yet, when I went to it, it monetized. It was showing a commercial. I went to it, and somehow it had flipped itself over to monetization. And I didn't want.
It's too bad. We're going to take the money. Just because they're not monetizing doesn't mean they're going to stop the commercials. You want to be on YouTube?
They just won't give you any of the money.
Come on.
Well, I'm just tired of playing the game. Okay, and I wish I could find another place to do this. As a matter of fact, but and on top of that, they have these rules about we supposedly can't talk about the coronavirus.
I've never, I know people have mentioned that, but I haven't seen anything to that effect on YouTube. Have you received something like an email from YouTube that says?
Oh, that they I think it's that the whole thing is what they don't want, and this is right, is they don't want misinformation being spread. But if that includes if you mention the coronavirus, you're not going to get monetized. That's terrible. That's horrible. What are we going to talk about here? We're not going to talk about the coronavirus? I mean, come on. It's the most important topic probably of our time.
Do like the president does and call it the Chinese virus.
I'm just praying that the cure for the coronavirus is carpet fiber. And, and if people buy carpet, then they'll be cured.
Yeah, well, by the way, that is not to be taken as any kind of medical advice for you people out there. And also,
I think it's bourbon.
Yeah, your listeners would believe that.
What was the name of that drug that the president was talking about the other day? Was it called chloroquine? Was it called?
Yeah, it was.
Something like
Chlorofluoroclean, whatever it is.
Chloroquine, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sanitizes, deodorizes, and washes the floor.
Yeah, well, I mean, he mentions that that might cure it, and some guy goes out and swallows a pill that was meant as
died.
Well, how come he died of it, but his fish don't? That's what I don't understand.
Needed to be taken off the face of the earth. Come on, anybody that does that. Plus the fact.
Also, who should be taken off the face of the earth is the person that encouraged him to do it.
How about the people that eat Tide Pods? You know, I mean, you got some really
Phil,
low.
whataboutism has now gone to an all-time low where we're going from the coronavirus and this one thing that was fed to fish to Tide Pods. Yes, Patrick.
How was he encouraged to take it?
Because the president went on the air and said that it looked like it was very promising as a cure. And they had some in their house.
Yeah, promising to cure, and he also had a different version of it, and that is not the president's fault.
All I'm saying is for him to endorse any kind of cure was a bad mistake on his part.
These guys have selective hearing skills, and they're really good at it. They hear what they want to hear. They don't hear the truth, and that's why people don't understand what Trump is saying, because when he speaks the truth,
I can't understand a word he's saying anyway because he's starting to garble his words. I think he's had a stroke. I really do.
I think so too.
Well,
yes, Patrick.
2 stroke survivors are going to be running for president.
Well, that's not Trump at all. If any of us just do anything because we hear it on TV, that's on us. It's not the fucking television. You know, I mean, that's like watching a goddamn TV show that says, this is going to cure this, and then your stupid ass goes and takes it. Well, who's fucking...
Yeah, but Patrick, we're not talking about a TV show. We're not talking about... some kind of fiction. We're talking about the President of the United States endorsing a cure.
He said it might work, and the guy didn't take the same thing as what the president had mentioned.
It sounded the same, though.
It sounded exactly the same.
He said it was the greatest thing in medicine in history or something like that.
He said, you guys... Where do you come up with this?
Because he's the one that always takes these things and say, "Oh, it may be the way out of this. It's going to be everything's the best. Everything's the most incredible."
You're worried about medical advice? Come on, you guys are out in outer space somewhere.
I mean,
I don't listen to him for medical advice, but his people do.
His people do. Yeah, you were saying what kind of dumbass would do what he said to do, and the kind of dumbass is the guy that votes for him. Yes, Patrick.
Are you sure that the guy that voted for him is the guy that ate the stuff?
Oh, I'm sure he was.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's one less shit out there. And I'll tell you what, if the president suggested that sucking cock was a way to cure it, I wouldn't.
Thank God we're not trying to be monetized anymore.
You're sure of that.
So, I don't give a shit who says it's a cure.
Yes. Our good friend Kevin. Yes, Kevin.
Actually, the guy's a hero because he's proven that it doesn't work. Thank you. One less drug we know that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it does, and he just didn't eat enough of it.
Yeah, maybe a lighter dose.
For about 10 minutes.
Yeah. How's everything in your neck of the woods, Vernon? I mean, when it comes to this whole thing, you're getting by okay, right? Or have you been out?
I'm getting by okay. I mean, I've taken the dog for a walk every day that the weather has permitted when it wasn't pouring down rain.
Yeah.
They've shut down a lot of businesses, hair salons, nail salons, things like that. Home Depot's going to be open on Friday, so I'll be working there. But I'm taking latex gloves with me, and I'm going to change them often. I might even take an N95 mask with me. I don't know if I'll wear it or not. But, I know enough, I think, now, in spite of our president, to protect myself, and I don't think that I'll have any issues.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried. Like right now, I feel like I have a little congestion building up here. But then again, we've had pollen like crazy. I have no temperature or anything. I have nothing else besides that.
Wait a week.
Huh?
You don't get the temperature right away. It's after the
really?
symptoms.
Thank you very much, doctor.
Yes.
Well, my 78-year-old mother-in-law works at Home Depot in Cupertino, heavy Asian population, and she's going to work every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I bet I bet at Home Depot. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, Vernon. They have N95 masks because they're used a lot for like when you're plastering or doing stuff with a lot of
They
dust.
may have
Not in
gotten
stock.
they may have gotten resupplied. My store may have gotten resupplied during the past week, but I haven't been there for over a week.
Yeah.
But the last time I was there, which was 2 Sundays ago, all the shelves were bare.
Yeah,
Here,
they haven't had any in stock at all.
here's how horrible this plague has become. Marjorie went to the supermarket the other day, and she said they had toilet paper there, so I bought us some, and she brought back a thing of toilet paper. She opens it up. It's 1 ply. Now, I don't know if we can live with 1 ply tissue.
Fold it over and it's
You
2
know,
ply.
she can't live with 1 ply. I think maybe I can get by because, I mean, you just roll it over your hand several more times than you do when you normally take it out. But that was it. Then I went online, and what did I try to buy today? There was something. Oh, we decided, you know what we'll do? We'll, rather than her going to the market, we'll have the food delivered. So she went on Amazon to get Whole Foods to deliver us some food, and she made up a whole list of stuff she wanted. She wanted chicken. They didn't have chicken. Okay, the roasted chicken. They didn't have the roasted chicken, but there was a lot of other stuff. And she added it all up, and she said, "Okay." They said, "Where do you want it delivered?" She said, "All right." And they said, "We'll have it there Sunday." What? I mean, when you say delivery, we assume 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe in a crisis like this tomorrow, but Sunday? And this was on Monday that she ordered it, was going to order it. We didn't order it. Yes.
A week.
Yeah, we ordered quite a bit. It was from Costco, and it was very good. And they delivered in 2 hours.
Really?
And they would call you up and say, "Well, we don't have that. Can you take this instead?"
Let me see here. Let me get John Larkin in here. Hold on a second.
I had made an order online from a grocery store on Monday, and this was before the lockdown, and it was supposed to come on Thursday. Well, the lockdown went into effect on a Wednesday, so they sent a message: "We're not delivering anything, and eventually you'll get your money back." I still haven't gotten the money back, 2 weeks later, but I thought it was odd because first of all, grocery stores are the stores that are supposed to be open, and you're still allowed to get deliveries. In fact, that's a better method for them to send a person out than everybody to go there.
Right.
But the other thing that was odd was that I had to schedule my delivery time, so that makes it doubly strange because it's not as if they ran out of capacity. They only take one delivery slot for 1 hour for one person. So why they did that, I still am perplexed.
Wow. But anyway, so those are some of the things and I won't go to Costco. I just feel that's that's a petri dish.
Petri dish.
Huh?
That's a petri dish. I told you my story of the lady leaning against the thing, sneezing like this with her hands open, just sneezing nonstop. And nobody said anything. She didn't make any effort to leave. She was just standing there like a sneeze factory.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm very careful. I mean, how about you, Vernon? Are you careful? Because I mean, they say if you've had cancer, you're subject to it. And you're how old now? You're in your mid-60s?
I'm 71.
You're 71. Okay, so you've got to target a bullet to your head too with this whole thing.
Yeah, but I had my treatments like 9 years ago, so.
Yeah, and I realize that, but still, they would say if you've had cancer or whatever. But you're probably compromised in a few ways, so I'm very careful. I'm very, very careful about it.
Well, like I say, I'm going to work on Friday, and I'm going to I'm going to take. Had bought a box of those latex gloves that you use when you paint
Right.
to keep getting paint all over your hands, disposables, and I'm going to stick a wad of those in my pocket, and then probably take my N95 mask with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a bottle of hand sanitizer.
You'll be fine. I'm sure they have sanitizer there. I'm sure that if they're a good company, like I hear, for instance, did you have this happen when you went, Phil, to Costco, that they say they're wiping down the bar, the handles on the carts.
They had a cart where you could peel off a piece of towel, and then they had some hand sanitizer that you wipe. You'd put it. You sprayed it. You sprayed something on the handle, and you wiped it, and you threw the towel in the cart, basket of the cart. So I did that.
Did you do your hands too?
No.
You should have. Yeah. Just who knows? Who knows? But anyway, I
went to the drugstore the other day, Alex. I went to the drugstore the other day to pick up something my wife had refilled, and the Walgreens that I went to had blue tape on the floor, so that you had the proper spacing between people.
Yeah.
And then when you went up to the counter, they had 2 cash lanes, and the one clerk was taking care of both cash lanes. And when she finished with one customer, before she would wait on the next customer, she took and put a latex glove on her hand, grabbed a hand sanitizer, wiped the counter down, wiped the stylus and the credit card reader down, then peeled those off into the garbage can, then moved over to the next register to wait on the next customer, which allowed that counter then to dry.
Yeah.
I had to pick up some meds at Kaiser because these aren't mailable, and I'm not looking forward to going to the pharmacy. I'm thinking about maybe I can go to the discharge pharmacy at like 3 in the morning when no one's there.
Well, we have a pharmacy that's hardly ever has anybody in it. It's a pharmacy only. It's Walgreens Community, and it has nothing else in it. Doesn't have a makeup counter or anything like that. Just has prescriptions. So there's never a big line there. And I'm sure they're taking every precaution possible. I'm not as worried about that. I'm not even as worried about a hospital, Yeah,
I used to go to a guy like that in the Haight. He sold hash, marijuana only.
Yeah. John, how are things happening there in the Tenderloin of San Francisco? Have you been out?
I went out for a little while today for lunch. I noticed a lot of the major stores are boarding up now. I know
in Union Square. Well, I noticed on television a thing out of San Francisco where it showed Union Square, and the places where a lot of the big stores were actually putting wooden boards in front of their.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of stores are moving out because of the rents and the homeless problem. But John, I wanted to ask you, now you live in the heart of the Tenderloin, or pretty close to the heart. Are you experiencing the homeless things that they talk about in the news, and the feces on the street and the needles and things like that? Are you seeing that in your neighborhood or nearby?
Yeah. It's true.
It's true. 'Cause I don't see it. I go to the city and I don't see any of that stuff. You
just go walk down Leavenworth and Turk.
Yeah.
You're gonna find it. Yeah, it's all over. I mean, they're out there on the street right now, drinking and partying.
They're thinking of changing the name. They're thinking of changing the name of the street to Turd, from Turk.
Yeah.
So they're not social distancing, and they're just drinking, partying, and pooping, huh?
Yeah. Occasionally the cops will drive by and they'll say, "Hey, break it up. Maintain. Like 6 feet, of space." And they'll just drive by.
Well, those people have been living on the streets have probably built up so many antibodies they can't catch anything.
Yeah.
Who knows? Are the streets quiet where you are, Bree? I mean, are they kind of empty and?
Yeah, Yeah, they are. They
Yeah.
are very empty.
Is there a tough law or rule there that you can't?
There is some. I guess a lot of people have difficulty understanding what is essential. So
Yeah.
that somebody's essential, might not be another person's essential. Somebody might. I mean, across the street from me, my neighbors have their cars washed every day. So the guys come over and wash their cars. I wouldn't consider that essential. I mentioned it to the community group manager, but she said, "Oh, these are the guys who, help to cut the grass and do some odd jobs around the neighborhood." And I was like, "Okay, and and so they shouldn't be coming in and they shouldn't be doing stuff." But she didn't see it that way. So, it depends on one's definition of essential, I guess.
What I heard today was that in Italy, if you're outside and you don't have a good reason, they can fine you 300 euros.
In India, they arrest you.
In India, they'll shoot you.
No, they'll arrest you if you're out.
Some of them said they would be shot.
Really?
I saw the report.
Probably CNN.
That would have worked pretty well down there in Miami and Fort Lauderdale with these kids. Yes, Patrick.
Yeah, we're threatened with fines and possibility of police intervention, arrests for gatherings and things like that here. So our governor is a fucking turd anyway. So nothing is really made clear as to what is essential, non-essential, any of that. And it's been, as of 8 this morning, we've been on, he's calling it safe at home, which is basically lockdown, but it's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
And then there's this 16-page deal of who's essential and who's not essential. And then in there, it states if you're in a gathering of more than 10 people, police can intervene. And then if you don't have basically a good enough excuse to be out, you could be fined. I highly doubt any of that would happen. But the fact that that's even written in is somewhat bizarre to me, especially in my area. I mean, Milwaukee is a large area, but it's New York City. So, I mean, I realize this shit gets passed on, but I think it's a little bit of an overreach that the whole fucking state of Wisconsin is under this, considering a great deal of our state is nothing but like
ice,
forest and shit like that. I mean, the communities we have 72 counties in the state, and a lot of those counties, they have maybe 3,000 people living in them. Maybe 20 is a big one, So yeah, we get threatened with fines and arrests here. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the same thing out here.
I don't think we have any fines or arrests here. But what it is you've got the governor going on the air every day saying, really stay home. Do your neighbors a favor and stay home. If you do want to go out, keep your distance from somebody else. If you want to go to the park, no playing frisbee or basketball. Nothing where you're going to come into contact with people. That you can go out for fresh air and not worry about it if you keep your distance. I am so paranoid, I don't go out at all because I figure I could just get it by sitting here and keeping the windows open. I mean, I'm that worried about it. So I'm not taking any chances, especially because I just came out of that operation. I don't want to take any risk.
I'm the one that checked all the boxes. I got every disease that they got in the thing. I got the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the cancer, the you name it, I've had it or have it.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, when I was a kid, I had asthma, and now the pollen season comes along, I have asthma. So that's one of the things you can tick off. I mean,
that was
what?
When my doctor, I don't know about yours, Alex, but when my doctor saw me, I did get prescribed antihistamines.
An inhaler?
This was back in January. Well, you know, in general, is it not correct that if you have a virus, your system sees it and it goes crazy, you know, goes for it, and sometimes it could overdo it. So I'm not sure, but an antihistamine might tell your system, hey, you got this, slow down, you don't need to overdo it. And then maybe that works?
No,
I don't know.
I can't. For instance,
I
I have there's pollen right now, and I have a slight little chest congestion, nothing major, but I normally what I would take for it is an antihistamine, but I can't take one right now because it will affect my prostate and make it harder for me to pee than it is already. So I can't take anything like an antihistamine, at least for the next couple of months. So I have to suffer through whatever I get, is what I'm saying here. So, but, you know.
Can anything like steam help you?
I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. It's not that bad, so I'm not that worried about it. Now, here's a question I have. We have our Congress is passing a bill for what, $2 trillion, is it?
Yeah.
2.2.
A $2.2 trillion. Where are we getting that money from, by the way? It's probably going to come from Medicare, someplace like that.
China to forgive.
There's a printer out
running
back.
the printing press.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna manufacture it.
That's going to manufacture it. So I guess he's just added $2 trillion more to the debt. You know, what I love about this is the Republicans becoming socialists. I really think this is wonderful. They're handing everybody out money.
This is a war. And are you going to take the check or are you just going to send it back?
I don't think I'm getting one. Marjorie might get one. No, I'm not going to send it back. Are you kidding me?
Under a certain amount, they give you the check.
If I get a check, I'm going to send it to whoever's running against Trump. How's that?
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know, I found something today in my drawer that I thought was interesting.
What's that?
Mondale Ferraro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, remember that one? That
1983.
Well, what everybody's saying now, I mentioned this earlier, what everybody's saying now is draft Cuomo, which, you know, quite frankly, if under any other circumstances, I would say this is a good idea because this guy could just beat the pants off of Trump right now. But I don't think he would do it because he would just say, listen, I've got a job to do in keeping this state safe, and I don't have time to run for president at this point. Yes,
Forrest Gump.
Patrick.
Do a better job than Cuomo.
Patrick.
I would just beg everybody not to, because that goddamn convention is in my city, and the Bernie people will burn this motherfucker to the ground. And I still like living here, so let's not do anything like that.
Oh, is it in your
Well,
town?
if they burn it to the ground, it'll be warmer.
But it's true. That's Milwaukee this year.
Gets warmer. If it gets warmer, the virus will just go away.
The only advantage that Trump has in this whole deal is that nobody's listening to either Bernie or Biden right now. But he's on the air every day, and he does like 2 hours. He does like a Castro-length speech.
And half of it is patting himself on the back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, today he was doing it. It was, you know, it always had to have. He always has to say something that like makes him look good. You know, and it's not about you any longer, Donald. It's about the country. Yes, Mr. Patrick. Yes.
I think it's
Larkin, excuse me.
I've seen Biden doing his pretend conferences about what he would do if he was president. Well, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, he and Bernie aren't getting any time. Regardless of Trump being on the air, the virus is taking control of that. So, to are like afterthoughts. And as you said with Cuomo, I get his shit here in Wisconsin. I mean, not live, but So he's getting more airtime.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because MSNBC is running it, so and CNN is running it. So, and I don't know, Fox may be running them too. By the way, let me just ask you, what's your impression of Cuomo? The way he's handling this.
Fantastic.
Patrick?
I think it's doing quite well with not being overly dramatic one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's not playing it up as if we're all gonna fucking die here in New York, you know. But he's also not taking a blasé approach where it's nothing to worry about. So I think it's very much like any of us would be talking to other people about what is going on. You know, I mean, there might be some that are a little wrapped up more than others, but no, I think for the most part, I would rather have him as my governor than the clown I have now. So,
not if you want guns.
Well, yeah, I would have him anyway. So, you know, they'd have to come into the house and get him. So.
Let me see here. Where we? Oh, it's so. My question is now, with all of this, we have the government now ready to pass out money to us, $2 trillion. Do you guys feel this is being well spent?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the plan yet.
Well, let me ask you this.
The corporations are going to get all the money, and the small business people are going to have to stand in line. You know, the big corporations will get all the money.
I want an answer to a question. Why the airlines? You know, why the cruise ships? Who gives a damn about them? The fact is that these airlines, for the last couple of years, have been making a fortune off of just our luggage. Okay? And so far as the cruise ships are concerned, they've been floating Petri dishes for years. You know.
You can't see it. Vernon's had his hand up for a while.
Oh, Vernon. Okay, let's go to Vernon. I thought I saw his hand up, and then I thought I saw his hand down. Is your hand up, Vernon?
No.
Yeah, I haven't fallen asleep.
Oh, okay. Vernon, yes. Vernon.
No, we were talking a while ago about the conventions, and I have serious doubts whether there will be a political convention for either the Democrats or the Republicans this year.
So
online.
Yeah.
Trump will just stay in.
Let me see here. Let me go to John, and then we'll go to Patrick. John?
Yeah. If they have a debate between Trump and Biden, I think it would be good without an audience because, you know, Trump without an audience is just an idiot, you know. So, you know, he can't. If he's got an audience and in a debate, he's just going to stand up there, you know, and pull his pants down and shit, you know. But without an audience, he'll just be an asshole.
Yeah. Yes, Patrick.
I mean, in my own mind, regarding the airlines and the cruise lines, concern that I would have is if they don't help them out, just the same as we helped GM out in that years ago, what about the workers? Will they have a company to come back to work to if they have a business? And that is, to me, a bigger issue. Is we have so many people unemployed now, and then if we have businesses go out of business, literally, where do those people go? Where are the jobs for them? I mean, Harley Davidson has closed down in Milwaukee, and we've got all of these people out of work. Now, assumably, Harley will be able to get back on its feet, but when you've got airlines, and especially the cruise ship, all of those thousands and thousands of workers, where do they go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, though, Patrick. Those people that work on the cruise ships do not pay U.S. taxes. Those cruise ships are not flagged in the United States, and therefore they do not pay U.S. taxes.
And so therefore they shouldn't be bailed out with our money.
There's
Right.
thousands of hotel rooms. There's thousands of people that are support for the food services. All of these things are support for these cruise ships, and they're vital.
Phil,
to-
after this is all over, you don't think those cruise ships are going to be back in business?
No.
Oh, they're going to go. They're going to go broke. They're going to have to sink all the fleet. I see. Kevin?
That's what I'm talking about. Is are we saying that these companies are running so skin and tooth that this amount of time they're going to go under? They're not stable enough to run without this amount of time, that they don't have enough built up that they could run this amount of time and then recover.
It's also,
I think that they should be looked at on an individual basis and see if they can recover or not, and then bail them out if they need it. But if they don't need it, then fuck them. If they need help, okay, they need help, but not across the board. Everybody gets it.
But the way our system works is if they have a big lobbying group and they've paid off enough senators and Congress people, they'll get the votes.
Yeah, but that's BS. If
That's how it works.
If somebody like, let's use an example of Marriott's been making millions and millions of dollars, and they've got a big, pile of money sitting behind them, and they can make it through this, and then come back and rehire all their workers, but they're still going to get a $5 billion bailout. Screw them.
Yeah.
The bailout is supposed to go to employee salaries, and if they don't,
it doesn't matter. If they've got enough money to cover it when they come back, why should they get it?
They don't have to cover it. If it goes to salaries, then it will be forgiven. If the money
Phil, that isn't what the money is supposed to go to. It's supposed to go to
That's
subsidize
why
the airlines and to subsidize these cruise ships for not being in play right now.
That's why I believe they wanted the oversight so that shit like that can't happen. Is that right?
And they don't want.
I don't know.
To buy their own stock back with the money and all these
well,
other
I understand that.
to
That's
executives.
bullshit. That's bullshit right
and
there.
executive bonuses.
Bonuses.
No.
And
Yeah,
I think somebody also put a provision in there.
Enough,
I think there was also a provision put in there, if I'm not mistaken, that the Trump organization can't get any of it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. If a company has built itself up enough that it's supposed to survive, like we all are supposed to have 6 months of money in the bank in case something happens, why can't a company do the same thing?
Supposedly
they have 6 months worth of money in the bank. Oh, if they got 6 months worth of money in the bank, they can't touch that shit. We got to go for a bailout? Bullshit.
Supposedly this just came over the wire according to Tyson's Acosta, and that is it was passed. So
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
They got it done.
It was passed by the House.
I think it was passed. Period.
Yeah, it was supposed to go to the House and then to the Senate again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after the Senate, because there's some people in the Senate like Ron Paul and a few of those guys that may keep it from passing.
Well, Ron Paul can't go to the Senate.
Yeah.
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul can't go.
Did you see at the press conference, was it yesterday, when somebody said that Mitt Romney may have the coronavirus and Trump smirked? Oh, that's too bad. Ha. Oh no. And then somebody asked him, was that a smart ass comment you made? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he said that. It was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
I don't know.
I couldn't believe it when he said that. He goes, "Oh, that's really too bad." Not really.
Now, someone's inflection is something that you condemn. The guy says,
"No, if you saw it, Phil, you would have said the same thing if you saw it."
Take it at face value.
Phil, come on.
It's too bad. Well,
why do you always have to excuse every lame brain thing this guy does?
Always have to accuse Trump of everything wrong in this world.
If you saw it, you would have said the same damn thing. I'm sorry.
It was a low class thing he did. Just his attitude.
Well, he's from Queens.
That's just everyday Trump.
True. So am I. Yeah.
One thing that I heard, Alex. One thing that I heard that was included.
Wait, Vernon. Yes, Vernon. What?
One thing that I heard that was included, thanks to Chuck Schumer, is that it won't be the Secretary of the Treasury deciding who gets that $500 billion for the corporations. It's going to be a committee of 5 people, including an inspector general.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the same thing they did with the last thing back in 2008. They had the same thing essentially, but
Yeah.
they're still it's gonna be a scam.
The Green New Deal money and the arts and the Kennedy Center and all of these other things that they threw in to bail out.
Well, the Senate has passed it. Yeah.
The Senate has passed. So now it goes to Trump.
Yeah, goes to
He's
Trump
already said he'll sign it.
for that big ass signature of his, that very stylized.
Oh yeah, he said he was going to have a celebration and a big ceremony.
Oh
Yeah,
really? What's he going to spend? $500 billion on a
You got to have a
party?
ceremony for.
Yeah.
A signing ceremony. And you give each guy a Sharpie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's pass around a flute of champagne for everybody to take a sip of.
There's Kevin doing his Donald Trump showing the signature. But it's more like you fold it out and you hold it.
Yeah. I got papers in there.
Spill.
Yeah, you didn't want to spill them. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how much this is going to help. I think the idea that I heard, and I don't know if this is the way it's going to play itself out, the best way for it to be is that for everybody who's out of work right now, they should be able to go to their states and get 100% of their salary as, what?
Mnuchin said that they couldn't figure out what that would have been because like the unemployment computers he said was like 35 years old, and they said it was just logistically not going to happen. That's why they were going to give each person.
Yeah. Well, the best idea to me would be to pay everybody the salary they would have gotten and reimburse the states for the money. That would have been, I think, the best idea. But that's just me, and what do I know? I'm just a lonely little old talk show host on a flagging podcast. Quickly, Patrick.
Well, the state of Wisconsin, we have a rainy day fund, they call it, and we've got several $100 million in it, and I think that should be used for the workers in the state of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing gets repaid back. That money that was taken through taxes and that has been set aside. So,
Patrick, I think they're going to build another sports arena.
My other question, my other big question would be, and this is a quick one, about, my wife, for instance, is working from home. She's making her full salary. Does she get the money?
Yes,
I think it's based on your tax, right?
Yeah, who knows? We'll find out. If you get a check, let me know. Okay. Hey, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Vernon. Always great to see you. Always great to see you, Bree. To our good friend Patrick, thank you. Kevin, thank you. And of course, our newest acquisition, John Larkin from San Francisco. Hey.
You get a check. You get a check.
Yeah. Anyway, all of you, give a big wave goodbye, and I will give a big wave goodbye back at you. Okay, there we go. Okay, there they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. There'll be another citizen panel convening next with Jack Bishop and the intersection. So give them a call, okay? And we'll be back here again tomorrow night. 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time, same station in life, and in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.